This is one of a series of videos to help you memorize your Al-Kitab textbook vocabulary to help you prepare for your Arabic 131 course. This video will focus on the lesson for vocabulary. So Al-Mufradat lid-Dars Arba'a. We will start with a verb conjugation chart, your first vocabulary word. Now, as always, in the top right corner of the slide, we introduce our new verbs in the third person masculine singular form. So not only does this verb mean uh, to eat, it also means he ate, right? Because it's both the verbs, the new verb, how we present it to do something, sort of an infinitive form, and then it also means he did something in past tense. So akala, akala is the verb. Akala, akala, which means he ate, and it also means to eat. Now we're going to conjugate this as always in present tense. Um, However, since this verb starts with a hamsa on an aleph seat, you'll notice that there'll be a change to the front of this conjugation. Normally, when we're conjugating for first person singular, we use a hamsa with an aleph seat as a prefix. For example, recently, maybe in one of the previous videos, we did dhahaba, the verb dhahaba, and to say I go, right? We put a hamsa with an aleph seat in front of it as a prefix to say adhab, right? I am going or I go. In this case, we already have a hamsa out with an aleph seat there. So what happens when we put another hamsa with an aleph seat in front of it? Well, an aleph madda is created here, an aleph madda, which is the aleph with the sort of tilde-looking sine wave above it with its crest and its trowel. And you might ask, well, okay, I see what it looks like, but how does it sound? And it's just a longer sound, right? It's two hamzas with an aleph seat, two fathas above them, and it changes to just a longer sound, right? So it's akul. So if you want to say I am eating or I habitually eat, right? You say ana akul. Ana akul. It's just an extended sound, right? Ana akul. And then if you want to say you to a male, you are eating or you eat, you're going to say anta takul. Anta takul. Now remember, this is a hamsa here, a glottal stop. So you want to say takul, takul, anta takul. And then for you, feminine, are eating, anti takulin, anti takulin, anti takulin. You want to say he eats or it masculine eats. Hua yakul. Hua yakul. And then if you want to say she eats or it feminine eats, hiya takul. Hiya takul. Hiya takul. What about we eat or we are eating? Nahnu nakul. Nahnu nakul. And if you want to say you all, you remember our subject pronoun is antum, antum, but you don't need to use that. You could just say, if you want to say you all are eating or you all eat, you're going to say ta'kulun, ta'kulun, antum ta'kulun. And if you want to say they eat or they are eating, hum يأكلون هم يأكلون هم يأكلون. Now remember, we can add our object pronouns as suffixes to the ends of many of these verbs to indicate what who is subject to the action or what item is being impacted by the action. For instance, if you want to say, "I am eating it," and the it that you're eating is shawarma, right? Shawarma. So you could say akuluhu ashwarma. I am eating it, the shawarma, right? Akuluhu ashwarma, right? The same thing applies for something that's feminine that you're eating, like Fatira, like a pie or something like that. You could say akuluha, akuluha al-fatira. I'm eating it, the pie, right? Akuluha al-fatira. And then here, for our verbal noun, remember this can serve as the subject of our sentence or um, some other noun in our sentence. This is the idea or the concept, the noun that represents the action. It's al-akal, al-akal. Al-akal is eating, right? Remember in Arabic we don't say eating, we say the eating. Anything that's conceptual, intangible, abstract, we're going to add the word the to the front of it. So it's al-akal, al-akal. And then you could say al-akal jayyid. Eating is good. Remember, is implied most often in Arabic. Our next vocabulary word is umps, umps, umps. Umps means yesterday. Umps, umps. How do you say first? Like first place, for instance. Well, the male version, the masculine version, is awwal, 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 and the female version is ula, 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 with an alif maksura at the end of it. Awwal and then ula, awwal, ula. Here is a nisba adjective that we use oftentimes we use this as an adjective to create the word elementary school, or you could say primary school. Here the word is ibtidaiya, ibtidai. So the masculine version is the blue here. Ibtidai, ibtidai, ibtidai. And then the feminine version, you add that ah sound at the end of it. Ibtidaiya. And actually, you're going to pronounce the y right as well. Ibtidaiya, ibtidaiya. So this is elementary or primary, and we will use it oftentimes to create the word elementary school. Um, this will be the adjective after madrasa to create elementary school. Madrasa means school. You'll see that as one of our vocab words later in this lesson. Now, here's another verb for us to cover. This is hafidha, 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 hafidha. That's to memorize, or he memorized. Hafidha. It has a the in it, and it has our exhale H. Hafidha. Hafidha. In dialect, this might be pronounced as a zo, but this is a the, the. Now, if you want to say I memorize, you're going to say ana ahfad, ana ahfad, ana ahfad. What if you want to say you masculine to a male, you memorize anta tahfad, anta tahfad, anta tahfad. What about you feminine memorize anti tahfadin, anti tahfadin, anti tahfadin. If you want to say he memorizes or uh, he is memorizing, huwa yahfad, huwa yahfad, huwa yahfad. And if you want to say she is memorizing or she memorizes, hiya tahfad, hiya tahfad, hiya tahfad, hiya tahfad. We memorize or are memorizing, nahnu nahfad, nahnu nahfad. Y'all or you all are memorizing. Antum tahfadun. Antum tahfadun. Antum tahfadun. And then they memorize. Hum yahfadun. Hum yahfadun. They memorize. Hum yahfadun. And you could say, just like we did before, you can add the pronoun, the object pronoun suffix to say I am memorizing it, and whatever it is masculine. For instance, what is a masculine thing? You can say a book, right? Kitab. Ahfaduhu al kitab. I'm memorizing it, the book, right? Or a dars, the lesson, right? Ahfaduhu, ahfaduhu, a dars. I am memorizing it, the lesson. and then ahfaduha, and then something feminine, right? Remember, all non-human plurals are treated as feminine, so you could say ahfaduha ad-durus. I ahfaduha ad-durus. I am memorizing them. In this case, the ha at the end is serving as a them, even though it is a she or an it. Uh, Durus are the lessons, right? But to keep it simpler, you could say ahfaduha. Something feminine that's singular is jumla. Al-jumla. Al-jumla is the sentence, right? Ahfaduha al-jumla. I'm memorizing it, the sentence, right? And then the verbal noun, the concept, the idea of the action is al-hifd, 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 al-hifd. Al-hifd, that's memorizing. Al-hifd jayyid, or I'm sorry, al-hifd jayyid. Al-hifd jayyid. Memorizing is good. Our next vocabulary word is halawiyat, halawiyat, halawiyat. Halawiyat are desserts or sweets. And then an alternative word you can use is hulu, hulu, hulu. Both of these words have the exhale H, the non-English hard H. Hulu is desserts or sweets, and halawiyat, halawiyat, hulu, hulu. Vegetables are khudar, 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 or khadarawat, khadarawat, khadarawat. So these are vegetables. It has the hard, not the hard H, but the kha, right? The scratchy H, the kha, khudar, khudar. And the alternative that you can use is khadarawat, 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 khadarawat. All right. We talked about this earlier when we were talking about ibtidaiya. To say elementary school, you would add ibtidaiya at the end of this word, but just on its own, this is school. Madrasa is school. Madrasa, madrasa, madrasa. Madrasa is a school. Madrasa ibtidaiya is an elementary school. And then here, after madrasa, you see the plural form. It's a broken plural. It's madaris, madaris, madaris is schools. Madaris, 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 excuse me, madaris, 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 and madrasa, madaris, and madrasa. Here's your next verb. Tadakkara. Tadakkara is to remember, or it also means he remembered. Tadakkara, tadakkara. Now, this is a measure five or form five verb, and that means the core form of the verb. Well, the root is the dal here, the kaf, and the ra. But when we add a ta as as a prefix in front of it, in front of the three-letter root, and we add a shadda, that W-looking thing, above the middle letter, that makes a form five or a measure five verb. So this is tadakkara. If we want to conjugate it for in present tense, which we always do for the first person singular. So I am doing something. In this case, I remember or I am remembering. We would say أنا أتذكر. أنا أتذكر. أنا أتذكر. If it's you masculine, أنت تتذكر. أنت تتذكر. أنت تتذكر. If it's you feminine, أنت تتذكرين. أنتِ تتذكرين. أنتِ تتذكرين. If you want to say he is remembering, هو يتذكر. هو يتذكر. هو يتذكر. And then if you want to say she is remembering, she remembers, هي تتذكر. هي تتذكر. هي تتذكر. Now, in our next video, we will cover the plural forms of this verb.